Hello and welcome back to the bakery. I'm your host, Team Rosemary, also known as Zach Warlock, and joining me today for the co-casting booth is going to be our boy Red, aka Joey. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty all right. Did a whole lot of nothing today. So
That's
let's
great.
see if I can be productive for the last hour, I guess.
Well, let's hope our teams can be productive as well. We want to see some awesome gameplay. I'm hoping for a close game as well. Both these teams have been prepping for not just this match, but more matches to come. I know some of the drafts might be a bit spicy, talking to some of the players behind the scenes, so I'm excited to see what they cook up. Maybe we'll get to see something really, really cool succeed in this game. I know Nyan Garde in the past has done something really cool with the Nyla XP strat, where the Lee Sin and her proxied the first wave in the base. And so I'm hoping to see something just like that, maybe something more akin in the bot lane, like a nice like random duo, or maybe just an offhand jungler. We'll have to wait and see, but I think it's gonna be a fun game for sure.
I have played against their Lisa and Nyla, and it was quite an experience. It didn't. They kind of bunged it the first time they tried it, but then when they played it live, they played it a lot better then. So who knows? Maybe they've perfected that strategy. But
well, they lost to us when they did it, but
oh, they also lost to you. They lost to us in a
Oh, so they tried it
tournament,
twice
yeah.
in the tournament.
Oh, they tried it twice.
Oh, that's crazy. At least twice. Well,
Yeah.
maybe they don't pull it out for this match because both teams are going to want to see a victory. And if we turn over to the league standings, we can take a look at where all our teams are at as of last weekend's update. So we have Camp Autumn, our undefeated team, who beat the Puffy Poros, unfortunately moving them down to a 4-1 score. Not bad by any means, but locking them in for a tied second place with Moist Chalupas. And then we have a good 5-man tie. Jax's Daycare Service, Next Sussy, Gankspank, and Le Alphas GG Town, which is our team going up against the Nyan Garde, the 3-2 team versus the 2-3 team. And then finally, towards the very back half of the scoring, we have Camtars, Tilted Tater Tots, and Which Lane Am I? So this is going to be a close match as far as the score's skill level is concerned. 3-2 versus 2-3. We talk about how a lot of these games are important, and sometimes it's important for pride. This one actually is going to be important in the sense that whichever team wins this round is probably locking themselves in for playoffs, barring some huge loss streak that we see towards the very end of the tournament. So neither one of these guys want to drop a game here. As far as the skill level of each of the players is concerned, I think we're looking at a pretty close game overall. Not one player or one lane really seems too skill gapped from what I can register.
I think the biggest two differentiators between both sides is Dr. Guillotine in the bot lane versus Gablane's AD carry, because he's in my experience, he's not the greatest. That he 6-1 champion most of the time, while Guillotine does have a few in the back pocket. And the MIP has become a bit of a meme / legend for his performance in the past week, so that could be a struggle for Andrew. But at the same time, I think Andrews has a mental block against some people, so
true.
Who knows? Yeah,
I'm excited to see what Dr. Guillotine is able to pull out down in the bot lane. We've seen her play some Zeri. We've seen her play things like Jinx. A lot of these like hyper scaling late game ADCs, and that can be really scary when you're going up against what I would consider to be a fairly low elo bot side on the enemy team. Simply off the fact that if you get a kill or two from either a jungle gank or an overstep in a fight, you're taking what was a scary lane or what was a tough lane to a scary lane really, really quick. And if you start getting more and more kills under a Zeri or a Jinx or something of that nature, they can literally walk away with a 1v9 in the game. And I know for a fact that Nyan Garde, they have the ability to play a front to back pretty clean. And so you get a little bit of CC behind a Fed ADC, and that really could end game right there. So we're going to have to see how Gablin handles that one. Hopefully they're able to just kind of neutralize the lane a little bit, or maybe they send their jungler down to snowball, maybe start with a path top side and path down bot side to maybe help that volatile lane a little bit.
Yep, I have to agree.
We'll have to see where they go with that. I think top lane is also going to be an interesting matchup. Gablin himself, or is it Giblond, I believe is how he had corrected me last time. I keep wanting to say Gablin.
Pretty sure everybody else says Gabland.
So. No, I know I say Gablin, but I interviewed him last week, and I'm pretty sure he said it was Giblond. It was like French. That's
Shocker.
bad. That's bad. He straight up told me what his name was, and I've already forgotten. That is really bad on me. I think it's Giblond. Insert French pronunciation here. But Giblond and Mini, I think, is a pretty what we would consider the higher elo of these two teams for their lanes. So I'm expecting to see a little bit more skill expression coming from those lanes. Hopefully, not regulating them to just big tank beef boys and watching a wet noodle fight. I'm hoping to see a little bit more skirmishing, a little more action involved, and a little more skill expression in the way they operate the lane as well. Maybe some freezes. Maybe some slow pushes, rift prio, grub prio, that kind of idea. So that's something I'm going to be looking forward in this game as well.
Yep. I think the one person we're missing right now is Nate, so we'll take a little bit longer. But one thing I do want to note is since we are on live patch, because we're not fancy and can play on different patches, the Storm Surge change that came out that made it a lot better for AP mages, especially two mages that Andrew prefers to play in the Syndra and the Annie. That change has gone through, so if he's been playing it, which I know he has limited time to play, I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls out one of those, because those are two of his comforts. So, and they're much stronger now with the Storm Surge change.
Yeah, and the Kraken nerf as well. Big hits to a lot of these high DPS attack ADCs like Jinx, we were talking about earlier. But even other things like Ashe, Misfortune, where some builds were going Kraken, now they're just going straight Bloodthirster, going for that raw damage with the IE. And you see in some other champions as well. Caitlyn started pivoting away from the attack speed, going more into the Collector Infinity Edge build as well. So that I think is going to be huge, especially for what we've seen from Dr. Guillotine as far as her champ pool is concerned. We were talking about those scaling ADCs, and now a lot of them are probably going to have to build Static Shiv or just go straight into the Infinity Edge, which is not ideal for the way that their play styles are rocking.
Yeah, from my experience of like watching professional leagues, which I know this isn't what this is at all. Going IE first tends to feel a lot worse on your first item, but the idea is that you buy it first, and then it feels better when you finish your second and third items. Because it's a lot easier to get uncontested farm in early game, where it is later, where the map starts getting spread out. It's harder to get farm on some of those characters, but at the same time, yeah, the Kraken change. I don't know. I didn't see many people like rocking out like Lucian mid or anything. So that's one of the main proponents. There are not a lot of Tristana players either. Those are like the two main, along with Jinx, main characters that built Kraken Slayer a lot. So
yeah, I think
I guess Yone, but we don't really have any super heavy AD mid lane players in this tournament.
Yeah, I do know Yone. Speaking of Yone, though, definitely a pick that both the MIP and Lord of Penguins enjoy throwing out. Probably not blind pick worthy unless they're building a specific kind of comp around it, like a Mordekaiser top maybe or something. But it is going to be relevant because. But that is going to be relevant because now Yone has been building like Bork into not Shield Bow. Or is it Shield Bow?
That's what I go. I go Bork into Shield Bow.
Yeah, I think it's Bork, Shield Bow, IE.
Tank.
And unfortunately,
I've also seen Bork into just full tank. So
really,
yeah, it's like what was it? It was Quid the other day at LCS because in LCS and pro leagues, a lot of them tend to be a lot heavier on the AD side.
Yeah.
So the Yone just goes Bork into Iceborne Gauntlet, I believe was what Quid went. Into a Corki. So.
And who is weak side Mahmoud?
I believe that is some random person that is scrolling through custom games and randomly joined.
This is not the first time this has happened in one of our games. And yeah,
No, it is not.
he
But
is.
we are still missing Nate.
Yeah,
Which-
we're reaching close to the penalty time as well, unfortunately. So hopefully we don't see that affect the game too much. I'd like to see both these teams fight at their full strength. It's always unfortunate to see a game lost because of a penalty.
I would as well, but I don't see Nate on at all. This is where Andrew says something in chat along the lines of Nate died or something. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, so I know they're taking their initial draft on DraftLol, so they're going to be taking it off client for the first bit. So we'll be waiting here for an extra minute or two while they go through that, which honestly kind of works out. That means they get to go through the initial draft first while they're waiting on Nate to hop on. And once, hopefully, he does hop on here soon enough, they can go straight into the in-client draft and then, by extension, straight into the game. So pretty useful.
You might want to remind them to do the incline draft the way they do it online. So for us,
I reminded Gabland and Andrew. I've already flamed multiple times in the past. So if Florida Penguins decides that he's going to draft with just everyone locking in their own champs, I might actually have an aneurysm.
well, that wouldn't be good.
No, we don't want to see that. But well, maybe we do. It depends on what the viewers want. But
I don't know. We can go beat up Andrew.
yeah, what gets the clicks? You know, is it me being a nice supportive caster, or is it me just flaming anybody in sight?
I think the real answer is a little bit of both, right? Like, no flame's just boring. So
that was a Vlad ban. Well, that's a spoiler.
you want to show it to me in
They gave me a
Discord?
spectate link. I chose not to open it because I want to be able to
You don't wanna be
experience
spoiled?
it in client. Yeah, because if we're gonna stream the in client draft, I want to be able to react to it. Yeah.
That's fair. I can agree with that. Well, they banned Vlad. small spoiler.
There you go.
because,
So we do know that Vladimir is taken out, which I'm curious to know who that is into because I don't know of any Vlad players on their team.
I believe that is the man, the myth, the legend, the MIP. I believe he played like one. I don't exactly remember who it was into, but he played a Vlad game and went like 20-0 or something.
Yeah, 4 days ago, played a single Vladimir top game, went 18-3-7 with a Medjais.
The MIP's a beast. That's all I can say, man. Like, that guy's the goat.
I mean, I guess that's all it takes. You play one game on Vladimir very well, and suddenly,
He also played one well in this tournament.
he played. Oh no, he is a good player. I'm not discounting that, but I think what's funny. So there's 3 Vladimir games in his match history, one of which is an ARAM, and that was the first game, which tells me he played an ARAM on Vladimir, popped off, and went, "Huh, this was kind of fun," and then took it into a normal game, went 18-7-13, absolutely popped off again, decided to play it one more time, went 18-3-7, and then now that alone is scary enough to where the non-guard decided we aren't going to risk it at all. Get that out of here.
You have all the bans. Ooh.
Oh. You know?
Those are after picks ones.
What?
The third caster. Yo, Satchel wants to join if you're down.
Yeah. I'll take an extra caster. Is he in one of the calls already?
He was in AFK, but he might be somewhere else.
If I see him, I will drag him in here. I don't see him in any
I
of
sent
the
a
calls,
message
though.
to join the
Yeah,
Discord.
Yeah, if you just tell him to just
Discord.
join any random call, I can. Like, if he joins like our tournament, stage 1 or whatever, I can just drag him in. But yeah, I will say of those some of those champions in the game that when they get too many kills under their belt, like my face turns white. You know, when you see quadra kill pop up on the side of the map, some champions doesn't scare you all that much. You know, you see Scion get a quadra kill and you're like, huh, well, I guess he got a little fed. Oh well.
Or a Braum. I've had that happen before.
A Braum quadra kill?
Yep, Braum quadra kill level 1. He's in Brioche, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
There
that
he
was
is.
an experience in a game.
but
we lost that game too. That was a while ago. Besides the fact.
hello,
My dog.
welcome,
Satchel.
welcome to the booth.
Hey,
We are waiting for them to finish their draft through draft lull, and I believe we're waiting on Nate to hop on as well.
Okay.
But we're discussing champions that are absolutely terrifying when you see quadra kill or pentakill pop up on the side of the screen. And
I mean, the easy answers are obviously AD carries.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I think it's less that, right? Because by the time the quadrupenta happens, well, the fight's already over anyways, right? So I don't know if it's like the terrifying factor's kind of already set its place. I think the one that's more concerning is when the champion, like you take a skirmish early game, and that champion gets a triple kill, and you're like, oh, this game might be doomed. Like, those are the ones you gotta watch out for, I think, more than like, because usually by the time quadrupentas happens, the game's already decided. So
true. Well, we were talking about because we got a little spoiler in their in-game chat. The Nyan Garde banned out Vladimir, and we were looking at the match history from the MIP, and we were seeing a lot of games are like 18, 3, and 17 with like a Medjai's, and I'm like, oh yeah, Vladimir is one of those champions where he starts picking up too many kills. You hit tab, and my face just turns white.
Yeah, Vlad's one of those champs for sure. Where if you get like you said, if you get like 3 kills off of skirmish, you're like, oh, this game might just be freaking doomed because we don't. Unless your comp has an answer for him, it's really tough.
But yeah, any of those.
I will say the modern Vlad build's interesting. He's kind of gone back to the old like Elite 500 style. I don't know if you know that player, the EU like Grandmaster plus Vladimir player. Where basically he plays around his flash cooldown again, and his only goal is to one-shot burst, but his cooldowns are like really long and everything. So it's gone back to heavy AP, low CDR playstyle, at least in terms of recently. I don't know if with Cosmic Drive and stuff being buffed that changes, but we'll have to see if he. Well, we won't be able to see this time because it's banned. But
yeah,
you know.
So no rocket belt or anything like that. We're going like Rabadon's Void Staff.
It was like Rabadon's first item, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I do know a lot of Vladimirs will start
great.
Dark Seal for lane, and that's not even inherently for like I'm gonna snowball. A lot of it is just like they know that they can play safe and not die, so the ability to pick up a couple assists and actually just gain some AP for it is pretty high.
I was saying, it gives all the stats that Vladimir wants. Health and AP, you're good.
Yeah.
Only two stats that Vladimir cares about along with CDR.
Doesn't need the mana that D-Ring offers, so it's like slightly less stats, but you have the refill pot as an advantage as well, so you're not really missing out on much.
And I mean, Vladimir early game is always just piss, but if you get a random one or the other person's trolling, not paying attention, who knows?
But yeah, I wonder if a Storm Surge buff on Vladimir would probably be pretty relevant, especially if he's going this big, like bursty one shot.
I wouldn't be surprised by it.
You know,
it could work.
Once again, we're not going to see it today, but
yeah, build was Death Cap into Storm Surge into either Shadow Flame or Magic Pin item if you needed it though. For anyone who wants to play Vlad in the future.
Mark.
Oh, and he's one of the few champs that doesn't run TP. He needs Ignite usually is what they take to get that like level 6 kill. You just like flash ult Ignite, they die. So
yeah,
that checks out.
Yeah. The moment you get caught out, you just go up into your pool and run away with Ghost.
Or Ignite with Nimbus Cloak.
Yep.
And you're
Yep.
Yeah, I think they usually do run Nimbus Cloak to supplement the move.
I mean, you want the speed, yeah. Because you used to go Phase Rush and shit, but if you want the burst, you probably go Electrocute nowadays. But
I think the most fascinating part about champs like Vlad now is ever since they took out the Tenacity rune and put in the Haste rune, you see a lot more champs going into Yellow Tree that like you wouldn't traditionally see before, like like mages and stuff sometimes, if they don't need the mana necessarily, because then they have access to either Last Stand or Cut Down, which is a pretty big damage boost, and then you have the haste one now, so which I think is like, how much haste is that? Like 15, I think. It's a lot.
I think you're right on that number. I take it all the time, but I honestly couldn't tell you the number. Let's see here. Yeah, you're right. 15 ability haste at max next.
Yeah, so he takes the 15 from that, and then he would take the 8 from the regular rune itself. So you already have like you're supplementing the ability haste that your build normally doesn't have.
Oh, sweet Jesus!
Looks like we have another guest.
Oh.
Well, okay. And he's gone.
Oh, Jesus. Yo, just type like P like 20 times so you get it off the screen. Yeah. trying to not get banned on Twitch.
Yeah. And then just like that, I lost my account.
I don't know. I not like we're streaming to like 200 people or something.
True. If what is it? We got 7 people watching. Hello, 7 people. If any of you report me, please don't.
It's the Ren special. Please don't. Now no rando join.
Is it actually tagged as English twice? That's funny.
I think it is. We got some spectators in here. Sheesh. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, they don't want to watch the stream, I guess. My stream.
yeah, they'd say this.
It's not high enough quality
we try
for them.
Our best.
You know, I do all this work, and then the players decide, nah, screw that guy.
It's just like regular League. Like there's the official broadcast. I'm just like, nah, I'm just gonna watch Cagel's co-stream of it. Guest just muted, just chilling.
See, but like at
Every
least
time.
with Cagel, like you're getting commentary and stuff, and I'm sure that they're having their own commentary in their Discord as well. But you could also just watch the stream and hit mute. It's the same thing. You don't gotta do it through your own client, but you know.
Oh, you know what was really cool? Back when I played CS, I'm sure they still do it. Like they would, you would be able to like spectate the match like you would like on League where you just spectate normally, but then you could
Yeah.
have the caster commentary play through the game to it, so you could like choose the angles you wanted rather than but still have the official like broadcast. So I thought that was really cool.
Dude, that actually is pretty sick. It reminds me of the what was it, the pro player cams, or what did they call it?
ProView.
ProView,
ProView?
yeah. Where like you could listen to the broadcast as well, but like you could like choose a specific lane or a specific player to like follow around the map. I thought that was like a really cool idea. Not cool enough to pay money for it, but cool enough that I wish it was free.
Cool enough when the
That'd be nice
broadcasters
to
use it,
have.
you're like, yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Can it be free? No.
Well, what I think would be cool is if they saved them back as VODs, and like even if you
And then
had to
go back
like
and watch them.
yeah, because like one, people would just upload it for free. Well, but even if they
True.
didn't, like you watch like the regular official broadcast with like the whole every 5v5 team or whatever, and then you go, wow, that was a really cool game. I'm really interested to see how Berserker played that matchup with Nyla into like, Lucian. And you want to like go back and watch that specific match. So now you go back and watch and see how Berserker was playing the lane the entire time. Like I think that's something that would be worthwhile.
I mean, that's the big thing. ProView was mostly like, I guess the big selling point for it was being able to go back and review like lane phase, because that's where the most, at least in my opinion, is where the most individual expression in the game comes out. So I can understand that.
Yeah, no, ProView was quite nice. Didn't really get to use it a whole lot as a resource. There's still occasionally someone makes a random Google Doc that throws in like LPL Pro views, but it's only like 2 players per game usually, and it's always random in terms of what you get. But it's still out there somewhat. What's always interesting is to see the pro settings, because I mean, I'm sure people already know with my settings, like they're like get flashbanged or whatever, right? You get to see stuff like that, or like FBI mashing his freaking Z key, toggling the chat box full screen the whole time, stuff like that. It's always funny to see weird ticks that players have.
Yeah. Well, I did get an update as to what we're waiting Nate the support is for. The cat has gotten out apparently.
Again,
Is this a repeat offense?
we had a
I think
scrim
so.
versus them
Yeah.
where we had to wait like 30 minutes because Nate's cat got out.
Was that me subbing in that scrim? Was that the scrim I subbed in for?
Maybe.
I think it might have been.
I just, because we already had to get a sub, and that took a while, and Nate was like, hurry it up, and then he had to-
Wait, everybody's there, and this cat gets out. We're like,
yeah.
Fuck.
It was
Oh,
like, oh
damn it.
no. Yeah.
Dang. We have a bit of a contention in the chat here.
I know. I mean, they did draft. They pre-drafted.
Captain is taking draft. I mean, technically,
kind of a
the
pause.
rules do say that if a player is late, we lose bans. And so that would be my argument if I'm called to actually have to ref this. But
That's fair.
aside from that, I don't know. I guess technically you would be able to pause right at the beginning of the game. So, that's a bit of an iffy one. I personally think that Lord of Penguins should be looking for a sub right now, but maybe he's really holding out that Nate's going to show up. Because to me, if Nate doesn't show up in the next, like 10-15 minutes, that is an auto loss.
I could agree with that.
So if I were Lord of Penguins, I'd be lining up a
unfortunate as
sub anyways. Because
Yeah.
when it comes down to it, I'd rather play a game with a sub I've never played with before than to just straight up give up the win.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, especially with the standings of where Nyan Garde is. I think they need this win pretty badly if they want to make the playoffs, right? I don't quite know the format, but
Yeah, we looked at the standings earlier. We're looking at Gablin's team, or Giblan's. I keep saying his name wrong. Giblan's team, the 3-2, and then Andrew's team is 2-3. So
This would be really bad for Andrew's team trying to make top 6.
yeah, they really do need this win in order to secure playoffs. They technically can still make playoffs
top half
after.
playoffs.
Yeah,
Everybody's
honestly,
making playoffs technically.
yeah.
but
I mean, if they lose this
it's top
game,
half
there
playoffs.
is a decent shot that they don't make playoffs because at that point it's just the Tilted Tater Tots or Camtars that need one win.
wow.
Well, no, everybody makes playoffs.
Everybody makes playoffs?
Yeah, he wants to do. Ren wants to do a double elimination. So
I
it's
see.
like bottom 4 are in single elim, and then
Oh.
top 6 are in double.
But
I want to.
I'll
good.
say it looks like the players are sorting things out on their own, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting for someone to say at Zach Warlock, because then I have to actually step in and ref, and I'm kind of just down
Like,
to chill.
oh man.
Well, like, and it's like I'm a little bit biased because Andrew's my friend and he's also in the TO chat, but at the same time, I'm not out here trying to break rules just so that we
Yeah.
can make people happy. If I were Lord of Penguins in this moment, I would have already found a sub to start the game. Just me personally. Maybe this is a little bit of mod privilege. I'm not sure, but it seems like Giblan's team is going for it. At least for now, they're being patient for another 10 minutes or so.
So they're being good sports about it.
So respect to them. And if I was on the enemy team, as long as my players are willing to stay up a little bit late, I don't mind waiting an extra 20, 30 minutes. Some teams aren't. I distinctly remember my round 1, I was really struggling to get a time slot for both my team and their team, Giblan's team. And so we ended up putting it right as I was getting off work. I literally broke traffic laws to get home on time.
I remember that.
And we still lost a ban because of it. We almost forfeited the match. And I was low-key, I'm not going to lie, I was low-key pissed because I was like, I tried to get this on any other day at any other time, and I just kept getting met with no. And then I finally said, "Screw it. We'll play on your schedule. I'll just inconvenience myself extremely bad." And then the audacity to enforce the late policy on me. I was like, you know what, man?
Fine, live your life.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna let my personal bias overrule my judgment call if I have to step in as ref here. That said, I'm gonna be honest. I don't believe that anybody in this Discord is going to bed at 9:30. I just don't believe it. I don't want to disrespect people for having work in the morning, but at the same time, let's just be honest with ourselves.
I'm about to say on work
Starts
days
at
I
like
like to be in
5
bed
a.m.
like 10:30, but at the same time I go into bed at 10:30 and just lay there till 11. So
Yeah.
who really cares?
But yeah, I will be excited to see how the playoffs end up happening once we get further along to the end of the game. We Super Week, not next weekend, but the weekend after, and then we drop to playoffs. I believe playoffs are top 8. They might be top 6. I need to double check what our
whatever
our rule sheet says.
Ren might change the rules from then.
Only Red knows the rules fully.
Yeah, only Ren knows the rules fully.
True.
'Cause he's told me everybody's making it to be double elim.
Yeah, well, I think double elim has always been the move. because we have a winners. Well, double elim for the top player or for the top teams, single elim for the bottom teams of playoffs. Because usually where we match the LCS, where you have a winners bracket and a losers bracket, and the lower teams get seeded into the losers bracket right out the gate.
Yeah, makes sense. Got to reward regular season somehow.
Yeah, so if I know the way we're running our bracket correctly, and I might be wrong, I believe we're doing top 8 because we had 11 teams when we first started. So we're doing top 8 makes playoffs.
I think you're right.
Top 4 teams get automatically seeded into winners bracket, and then the bottom 4 teams get seeded in the losers bracket. We might be giving the top 2 teams some kind of first round bye or something. I'm not quite sure. And looks like we're finally moving into draft. Let's load it up really quick and see what the players are cooking up. And looks like right out the gate we're seeing Diana get knocked out. We know Vladimir is going to be one of the bans, and yep, there it is right there. But I will be curious to see what else gets knocked out.
Well, there goes my Syndra idea. Unlucky.
Really just hitting Andrew's champ pool really early on.
I know. They've deemed him as a threat.
I realize I did
And
not.
I do think Syndra's gotten better with that Storm Surge change. I said it earlier before you joined Satchel, but I think the Storm Surge change that makes it a lot better for range characters makes it a lot better on certain champions, and Syndra's one of those.
Yeah, I think mid's probably the most important matchup in this game too, just because Lord of Penguins or Andrew's team, they're really based around shot calling around him. He usually makes the plays for the team, and the MIP seems to be like their main damage threat for blue side.
I have to agree, and unfortunately, our teams are unless they actually first picked Rumble. Oh no, they're not. They are picking in order the way they drafted online. Let's go.
That's good. So yeah,
Or at least Andrew's team is.
Are they?
I don't think left side is.
well,
I think they're just out of order on the right side.
Oh, I think they are out of order on the right side. We can't win, Zach. We tried our best.
Zach is once again denied.
I just that's all right. We don't have to talk about the draft. We can just wait until the game starts.
Hey, I'm just saying my team nailed it last night. That's all I'm saying.
That's true. That's true.
We nailed our game.
I mean, you can just start saying the champion names when they get locked in.
Sorry for the draft order.
Even if my name on the overlay was J Banana, we nailed ours. So.
Oh, okay. So turns out I just got a DM from our lovely team captain. Apparently, the first pick Rumble was also not intended for Nyan Garde. DG does not own Rumble, so I'm guessing.
Okay.
I'm guessing Minnie just picked for himself, and they probably picked.
And then they just said screw it. That's fair.
Poppy's support is a really interesting one, considering that the only dash champion that it actually hurts is the LeBlanc this time. Usually, you see it into champs like the Callisto or Rakan for support slot. So we'll see how that works out for them bot lane.
Yeah, I think that it's really going to be useful for this mid game when we start seeing Viego and LeBlanc starting to dash around. But other than that, I don't think it's all that good. It technically stops the Thresh from engaging himself with the hook. But in my opinion, if you're already getting hooked by Thresh, you're probably dead.
Thresh is just a good pick into Poppy in general because usually she wants to get right on top of someone, and the Flay and the box do a really great job at preventing that. The only thing that they have to be careful of is taking lanterns when the Poppy W is active.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. So a little bit of a timing check for our Nyan Guards, but I think they'll be okay overall. In general, though, here's a question. If you guys are playing your respective roles, I think we're all pretty comfortably mid laners here. I know Satchel, you play a little bit. You play more ADC.
Satchel's cheating, but it's okay.
But we're all, for the sake of the tournament, we're all mid laners here, right? If you're playing the LeBlanc or the Yone with your team, and your team has selected this comp, which one are you wanting to play into? Because I think for me, I'd rather be the LeBlanc.
100% the LeBlanc.
Really?
I think
Yone, LeBlanc is really good into Yone.
I think the Yone has
crazy.
tools that can work around it. The big thing that LeBlanc gets beat by early game a lot is sustain, and the Yone has, fleet footwork, second wind, absorb life, Doran Shield. There's like Blade of the Rude King Rush. There's so much sustain that you can build in the current meta against champions like LeBlanc that I think you can weather that bad phase. And then come team fights, LeBlanc's gonna have a miserable time into champs like Kennen, Rammus, Poppy. Well, I think the Yone goes pretty hard onto Nyan Garde's team comp because the only thing that really can stop him is either Jinx traps or the Thresh and nothing else. I think I'd rather be the Yone in this position.
I
I can
see.
see that. LeBlanc's damage early is just so nuts, even with Thorn Shield and stuff. Like, you just get a Viego gank, and I think that game's over.
Yeah, I think
and then dashing into LeBlanc's depression.
Well, the problem I have with the Poppy is that Poppy has to make a decision because Poppy's either peeling for Jhin or he's going all the offensive. He can't do both. So you have Rammus who wants to dive in, you have Kennen who wants to dive in, Yone who wants to dive in. So Poppy is really, assuming that they're going to play, as a team, Poppy's probably peeling for Jhin unless Jin's just so far behind already, at which point it's just kind of, Jhin, do whatever you want. All four of us are going in. So LeBlanc, all she has to do is play it safe. Either start off in the side lane a little bit, like off in the jungle, and then just dash in on the Jhin, or you just try to get around the Poppy somehow and try to burst down the front line like Kennen or Yone. I think the fear thing, it really isn't even the LeBlanc pick itself. The LeBlanc really just kind of gets you through laning phase. I think it's the wombo between Thresh, Jinx, and Rumble. You have a lot of AoE damage that can bump out against like Rammus and Kennen. And all you need is one kill in your team for Viego or Jinx to start popping off, and then one kill turns to 2, turns to 3. So LeBlanc really, even if she like waits in the back line, snipes out a Kennen or something who initiates the fight, and then lets Jinx or Viego get the reset there, I think that's going to be enough for them to win the team fights.
Yeah, I agree. I think Nyan Guard's win condition is just getting that first kill because they have 2 ramping champions at the Viego and the Jinx, as you mentioned. My only concern is how do they get to that first kill? They don't necessarily have the best engage tools. Their best engage tools are either a Rumble ult, which doesn't always necessarily lock down the opponent, or a Thresh hook, which is unreliable, to say the least.
Yeah, that's where my point was going to come in, where I would have liked to see a different support than the Thresh. I understand the Thresh and the Jinx are really good together, but I would have rather like to see Nautilus of some kind. Nautilus or
or anybody with a go button. I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah, just go button, a little bit more reliable.
Oh, the Ignite TP out of Andrew and the Ignite out of Mini. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think Rumble really wins the Kennen matchup, even with Ignite. So, I mean, to me, this just makes it extra volatile, where if Mini takes a bad trade or gets ganked by a Rammus, his lane is actually over.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Rumble's just the best champion in the game, so if Mini's good enough, he might be able to outplay.
I think Ignite does give Rumble that kill pressure on Kennen that's needed, but as you mentioned, it's very, very risky. A lot of top lane right now is people complaining about the fact strong TP is because if you take Ignite into TP and you just do a trade, you have to go completely plus. If you just trade, or even sometimes if you kill them and your wave state's bad, you just lose the game from there. It's like really, really risky to do. But with comms, you can maybe have your jungle bail you out of those situations and play a bit more towards topside.
Yeah.
Zach, you want to move the scoreboard around?
Yeah, I'm going to fix things up a little bit. For where I'm assuming our players are going. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we should be good from there.
You're good there.
Hope he is well. Well, that's good. We're seeing a little bit of sportsmanship in the all chat. Glad to know that at the end of the day, our players are having a good time and everyone's being nice to each other.
And is it really a low flan tournament game if we start on time? Like, all of these start 30 minutes later than they say they are. So,
I think my team does a good job at starting on time. We had the round 1 issue with, but that was a problem with scheduling on the back end, not the game itself. But that's
I think every game I've been a part of has been like late by 30 minutes. Technically, like we'll draft at like 9:10, and it's like people have to pee.
Unlike sportsmanship, unlike certain top laners, ones who will not be named.
All I will say is that I played an amateur for like 3 years, 4 years, and I played in so many different levels of tournaments, all the way up till the actual thing that lets you qualify for like scouting grounds or whatever, right? And I can say the scheduling problems always happen, and no matter what, you cannot avoid them.
They're like Thanos; they're inevitable.
Getting 10 people to show up on time, plus more sometimes if you need coaches, which most teams had at that point, impossible. Like actually impossible.
Yeah, well, and I think the hard part that comes down to it as well is everybody has to have a day job if they want to live. And so you have people who like have the standard 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. You have people who have these like weird, weekend jobs where they might like work in a certain office or a first responder or
warehouse.
something where they might work night shifts. And so like it starts to become a lot more difficult really quickly where you have these people like, yeah, I can play in this tournament, but I can only play Sunday evening at 7:15 p.m. to 7:42 p.m. You're like, well, I guess we're not playing this weekend because.
Or I can't play Saturday or Sunday. I can only play Friday or Thursday.
But
Not to name any names.
But that's besides the point. We're not here to talk about potentials and hypotheticals. We're here to talk about two great teams going head-to-head. And if we look over in the mid lane and the top lane, we're seeing two big skirmishes coming out. Mini's trying to run down with this Rumble. The Ignite comes out, and Gablin's going to fall down to the Rumble E. Good job, First Blood, with the Mini, making use of that Ignite. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Lord of Penguins and the map are going back head-to-head, really getting low. The Mip's trying to pop that health pot to stay alive, and so is Lord of Penguins. But he's got that Ignite. Mip's going to have to be careful. He wants to take away.
Yeah, really good job from Mini to get the solo kill. However, here's the kind of the concern I was talking about earlier. Gablin just TP's back, and now the wave's really bad for Mini, and he has to kind of recoup some of the losses. Even though he got the kill, he's going to be down in XP and has to still almost kind of like make up for it in a way.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a solo kill mid lane. Sheesh.
Oh, yep.
And yeah.
Yep, nice job. Looks like making use of that Ignite and just taking out a free kill there. But yeah, Gablin also doing a really good job at freezing the wave. We were talking about earlier about seeing not just good, mechanical skill, but also good macro skill and lane manipulation. And that's exactly what we saw from Gablin, or Giblond. I keep saying his name wrong. Giblond, going straight into the bush there to just kind of freeze the wave a little bit, keep those casters right where he wants them. And now Rumble's going to have a really tough time trying to deal with this wave. He's going to be able to melt it, I believe, but not without taking a good amount of poke from that cannon.
I think it's gonna push into him due to the two range creeps that are on no HP.
It will slow push into him. However, he's already down about half a level of XP now. Even though he was the one who got the kill. Oh, we got a gank in mid, potentially.
Nice chain. Just be a chunk. Yeah, I mean... Again, LeBlanc Day was just so crazy early. Champion is not okay. We didn't even see the solo kill, but the solo kill did happen.
And here comes Rammus coming in. Yeah, he's going to force the flash out from Mini, but Viego's coming up right behind him. Quick trade coming out in the mid lane. I don't think we're going to see an all-in, but Viego's posturing to try to protect this wave, making sure Rammus doesn't get to re-engage there. Mini's going to finally be able to collect this wave, and he should be able to collect most of it under the tower.
I think that chain hit me in Ohio. Like, Jesus Christ. I had to duck my head again. Duck my head under that one.
Yeah, just going to be able to clean up that wave up there. And that is going to be able to take him right back to where he needs. The problem right now, though, is he's going to have to take a quick freeze here if he wants to hit this reset. I think if he tries to push out this wave entirely, he's not going to have time to get it under the tower before the minions get back.
I don't know how close he is to 6, but there is a chance that he could... W got caught.
Wow, really good interrupt.
Yeah. If he hit 6, he could potentially just ult this wave and then base on that ulted wave, but...
There's no TP on LeBlanc either. If this...
Nice sidestep.
This is looking actually really bad for LeBlanc. Has to call her jungler over most likely, otherwise just kind of in a risk of getting dove. No flash.
Oh, and there we see it.
There
Flash
it goes.
forward, Q ultimate. The MIP 2508 putting himself on the board.
All roads go through the MIP.
That's so devastating too. LeBlanc loses about like 2.5 waves off of that. That's a huge gold swing. She went from being about up 300, 200 gold to being down 300, so massive swing.
Yeah. Viego was there to collect at least, so the gold doesn't go to full waste.
Yeah, we're not too far into this game, but we are seeing about 1,000 gold lead coming out for Nyan Garde as a whole. So even with that kill, their team as a whole is still doing pretty well. Farming out, especially in this bot lane here, seeing about a 20 CS lead. That's like 3-4 waves at least. And there is a big wave that's pushing into Boomer for days, so he should be able to collect some of this. But even if he collects every single one, he's still going to be down 2-3 waves.
Yeah, it's still greater than the kill advantage at this point.
I believe that's mostly where the gold lead's coming from too.
Yeah, well, we can take a look really
Everywhere
quick. Yeah,
else,
about 400
pretty
gold difference in the bot lane.
Big jungle gold lead just from clearing faster on the Viego side.
That is
True.
also
Yeah,
true.
about another 400 gold. That's about a kill's worth right there. Yeah, we see the first blood coming in for the lead.
Illegal.
Yeah, Poppy's going to be
Messy fight
taking
at
a little bit of
Dragon.
damage, but not quite enough. The Mip's already able to rotate over, and unfortunately, Lord of Penguins has to be able to catch that wave. Mip's going to be running down Thresh, and Thresh is just going to be able to boom out. They're going to be able to clean up this dragon. Rammus cleans it out finally. And that's going to be some more gold going back over to the Alphas of G-Town, so that's good for them. They're still seeming to be down about a 1.5k. I wonder where this gold is coming from.
Yeah, it's coming from bot and jungle.
It's just
as
massive
Satchel
bot
said.
and massive bot and jungle farm advantages.
Yeah, I
See
guess.
what, he just cleared the dragon to the Viego, just took his entire top side
Yeah,
without losing any tempo.
I guess good trade.
I mean, if you can fight for these grubs that are going to be coming up soon, which the Rumble is really strong for him. So Rumble 6 hasn't used ulti.
Yep. Oh, the Mip choosing to ult out, going right back in, breaking ankles a
back
little
in.
bit. Yeah. Just having a little bit of fun. But we're seeing a lot of MMIAs coming off from Giblon as Mini was trying to roam down as well. So Mip's just going to have to eat that loss a little bit. 3v1 is not the fight you want. Just wait under tower. The wave's going to push to you. You'll be okay.
You're good. You can cancel a base too.
I think from this point, the Mips in a... Oh, we got a fight at top lane, maybe.
Yeah,
Ooh,
both
an
ultimates
equalizer.
come out and Ignite comes out for Rumble too. We're just going to see the Flame Spreader, and he's about to overheat. Is he going to have enough damage for one more ease? Get the shield up, and he's not going to be able to find it. He's overheating, and he's running away. Giblon's trying to do the chase down, and I don't think they're going to be able to find each other.
I
Yep,
don't think either side's going to die.
both top
Once
laners
again,
way too low.
Even trade helps the person who has TP. Kenna can just push the wave, TP back, and then force Rumble to do something.
Yep, and with your ultimate down, you don't get to shove the next wave fast either, so it's definitely an unfortunate situation for our Mini over here in the top lane.
Yep, wave's frozen against him again.
He's too scared to walk up.
I don't
I would've
blame
said
him.
Screw it. I would have said screw it and pushed the minion wave. What happens? I die? Oh, die.
Well, yes, actually.
Yes. I think the solo lanes are doing really good for blue side at the moment, but they need to figure out a way to stem this bleeding on the bot lane. Otherwise, Jinx is going to become a problem for their team comp. Even if they have like tools that can potentially pick her off, it's still not a risk you realistically want to take.
You do not want to dive into a Rumble. LeBlanc, you just kind of get bonked on the head. Especially the Rumble, if you're all flying in there, because it's not like a long range engage either, like a Maokai are. It is a Rammus flying in there. So
Yeah, and
I think
we're seeing this Jinx scale up for free too. Up now 30 CS. That is quite a lot of gold and XP. So I feel like with Guillotine, even though she doesn't really have anything on the scoreboard yet, is actually in a pretty sizable lead for this game right now.
massive lead. Another thing that's concerning for blue side is Poppy doesn't actually have her support item upgraded yet, so it's just they're just down on vision for the time being. It's a lot harder for them to be able to set up for things like the dragon that should be respawning soon.
Yeah, we see Viego already posturing towards it. Probably going to try to clear out this vision in the tri-bush here. As, yep, just making sure that's denied. Poppy does have another control ward for that, but I don't think she's going to be stepping up anytime soon. That is a big wave coming under their tower. As Viego wants to posture for this dive? I think it's a bit risky. I guess we're just trying to see if we can fish for thresh hooks. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we're going to see a quick little trade. Mip comes in with the ultimate. Lots of damage coming out. We see a dive coming in. Jinx goes wide as the Mip is running out with the ignite on his back. The Lord of Penguins is a little low. Probably going to have to take a quick base. Choosing to stick around. I guess still has the refillable potion. That's why you bought
I
it.
think there's
But-
They're engaging bot while Vega's going away.
Yeah, Poppy's ignited right now. Rammus is coming in. Good flash away from Dr. Guillotine. And the cleanse comes out to ignore the taunt. Jesus, one noob is trying to get her out of there with the ghost. I don't know if it's going to be quite enough. Viego gets a reset. That's going to be one. Master of Flexo goes back in. He's going to get killed too. That's a kill going over to Jinx. Now they both have their passives and their resets. Jinx is going to be able to put out a lot of damage on Yone. The Mip is going to be able to clean out the Viego. He's turning around to try to kill the Thresh. He's going to get him, but not before Dr. Guillotine picks up the kill as well. She's going to be able to rotate this out, I believe, on the Jhin. He's trying to run away for his life, but one more zap is going to end him. And a good sidestep comes out. That's going to be the end of the fight.
Andrew's still looking for it, but I think he's too far.
Yeah.
Mini might get dove here.
Yeah, Mini's super, super low. Going to try to ult this wave out.
Ultimate
Hopefully he
wave.
can get rid of it. And yep, he's going to be able to get the one. Has to take this reset here.
Yeah, I think this goes back again to the concerns we had for blue side. The Jinx is getting kills, getting accelerated, and it's like their main win condition. And we saw if one person gets picked off with the Viego Jinx, they just pop off and go crazy on to their team comp.
Yep. Especially that first person's the Rammus, because if Gablan's not there, their entire team, the rest of the team is attack damage. If the Rammus dies, then Viego just becomes exponentially tanky against their team as well.
Now, I would say it's not all completely doomed. You still have Cannon Flash coming up, Yone Flash available, Poppy Flash, and Jinx has no sum. So if they do decide to take any fights at neutral objectives, it still is decent for blue side at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah, we see Rammus trying to take a little bit of an engage on this
I think they
Viego
just
here.
have ring around the Rosie.
Yeah, unfortunately, Viego's on the wrong side of the jungle, trying to find his way out. Gablon is going to be chasing him in with the Kennen. Has the ultimate if he chooses to take it. We see a taunt come out. Viego's super low. There's the Kennen ultimate, and it looks like that's going to pick up a kill. Going over to Gablon. Up 20 CS, up a kill. Ultimate from Yone goes wide. Lord of Penguins is going away. Mip flashes forward. He really wants this LeBlanc dead. She's going to be able to dash away. Gets the knock-up, though. W comes out. Not another Q. And unfortunately, the E doesn't take it. Gablon tries flashing under the tower, but he's not going to
crazy.
be able to get it either.
By
That
the
is,
skin of his teeth.
you know Lord of Penguins is squinching his butthole on that one.
Just a little bit.
Well, I like that we're getting a game with a lot of back and forth. It seems like both teams are playing to their strengths between the Yone and the Jinx, and we'll have to just see how the team fights go from here, because either side could still realistically win this game.
Yeah. Something I'm interested in right now is I'm seeing 2 Kraken Slayers out from Nyan Garde side. We're seeing Nate on the Viego and Dr. Guillotine on the Jinx. Definitely was good last patch. I don't see how viable that is now. I'm pretty sure. Well, I suppose Viego is still building Kraken
say,
So
Slayer,
leave
it's
it
still viable
unchanged for
melees.
Viego.
yeah, Jinx is. I don't think that's the move anymore. I'm pretty sure you just want to go straight into
I'll pull
IE.
up the numbers for Jinx. I don't think I usually prefer to go straight into IE. I know me and White have had this discussion, but I believe it can go either way.
Yeah, I know when I've played Jinx before, rushing IE doesn't feel bad. The problem with rushing IE is only if you're in a losing disadvantage in lane. Like if you're losing out on waves because
You
you're
have to
getting
get the BF
zoned off,
sword.
you're never getting that BF sword, yeah. And so building something like a Phantom Dancer, even though it may not be quote-unquote ideal, is just easier because you have those cheaper components that you can keep backing for.
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers, and Kraken Slayer is not really underperforming compared to how it was last patch. That it barely moved the needle at all. So should just be perfectly fine.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I think what's more interesting to me actually is you see the old school Jhin build with the Collector first. I feel like a lot of Jhins have been going stack shiv lately, especially at the pro level. You see notable players like Gumayusi doing it just for the additional wave clear it brings.
Yeah. I'm gonna be real. I don't know if I'm a fan of that. It reminds me of when people used to try to Runon's first item for a similar vibe. To me, it's not as necessary. I see it on somebody like Zeri, where she naturally wants to deal that kind of spread damage, or even something like a Sivir, whose sole job is to shove waves as fast as possible and then move around the map. But somebody like Jinx, it just isn't. To me, it's not viable.
I can agree with the Jinx, but it's more for. I mean, Jhin likes it because you can also get it off the bouncing grenades as well. And the reason you pick Jhin isn't for his auto attack damage; it's for his utility with his W and his R. So I can understand the shiv. It just lets you push without needing to even interact with the other person.
I think we're starting to see kind of a breakaway in the mid lane in terms of a gold advantage here. The MIP just has the Blade of the Rune King done, while Andrew still doesn't even have his first item done. I'm not quite sure what the gold lead necessarily is, but I imagine it's quite sizable if that's the case.
Yeah, about 1,400 in the mid lane alone.
And now we've reached the point where, Yone just gets tickled by LeBlanc and always has kill threat over, so it's getting kind of rough in that matchup.
Yeah, and
He weathered the storm, so to speak.
Yeah, after dying early, he did weather the storm, which is good on him, but I guess I don't entirely know what
Fight in the top lane.
Yeah, Minnie's going to have to flash out of that one. Meanwhile, in the bot lane as well, Master of Flexo's going in for this kill. Is Guillotine going to be able to get out? She is. Immediately falls prey to the Ignite, though. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Rammus is going to go down as Viego's able... Oh, wait.
Oh, the Yone,
What happened?
Yone tried to TP bot and just shit on Andrew. Yone tried to TP bot and Andrew canceled it.
Picken trying to 1v1 Leone here?
That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Ooh, nice play, actually.
Yeah, I guess just as long as he can hold the wave, it's worth it for him.
They get Herald off of it. They're moving the Jinx middle, I would assume, to then break mid turret with the Jinx.
I will say this is a very slow game in terms of not necessarily objective taking, but specifically towers. That was the first tower at what, like 16 minutes? So
Yeah, well, even in general,
I imagine with the Herald things will start to be accelerating though.
Yeah, I'll say even in general, like this wasn't a very bloody game up until fairly recently. Like we were at almost what, 11 minutes in, and there was like 3 kills on the board. And so like, and we've seen a lot of flashes, we've seen a lot of hard skirmishes, just no one really fully committing to try to 100-0. Which makes sense. When you're in a tournament setting like this, coin flipping those kinds of fights in lane is just not the smart decision. You know, sometimes you just got to play it safe for the sake of your team. As the last thing you want to do is be the reason that a Yone walks away 6-0 and starts terrorizing the map.
Yeah, and I don't know how you guys feel about the malignants on the Blanc.
I was about to point it out. I am not a fan either. Oh, Nate might be caught.
Speaking
Nate
of being not a fan, Yone is going to be able to get another kill on the Viego off the taunt from Rammus. Dr. Guillotine's going to pump out some damage in the mid lane, trying to force this Jhin off, but I don't know if he's going to be able to pick up a kill finally. The wave's not there, so the tower's not going to be threatened.
I don't know. I feel like they've nerfed malignants enough to where it's not just the best item on everybody.
Mini's going in. We see ult for ult, and a lot of damage is coming out. Mini doesn't have the ignite, though, and it's not going to be enough. Giblon is going to be able to get in and get out with a free kill. That Rocket Belt putting in some work.
Yeah, well played.
Yeah, I think as later the game goes as well, I don't think that gets any better for the Rumble.
The Rumble needs to be ahead in nearly every matchup. Rumble does not have very many.
Even if you have a strong
mechanics.
Jinx and Viego, if you don't have double losing solos, they can kind of just split the map like they're doing right now, getting this top T1, and there's not really much that Nyan Garde can do to answer it.
Yeah, I really do want to know which top laner was picking first, because I'm going to hope that Mini did not pick the Rumble into the Kennen.
If I had to guess, Mini probably blinded the Rumble.
Yeah.
They said that
oh my goodness.
Guillotine didn't have Rumble, so that means they picked it 4th, I'd imagine.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we're going to see another fight take out. Rammus is super tanky. Dr. Guillotine's not going to be able to melt through that anytime soon. And the TP from behind, Gablon wanted the fight, but now he's trying to back out. Jin's going to be able to guard the curtain call. Viego's walking away with 10 health. That's really, really, really low. The taunt comes out on the Jinx, and she's going to go down. Rammus picks that one up. Poppy's in on the Thresh, and the Ignite comes out. Thresh gets the Lantern hook back in. He's going to be able to help it out for his Rumble, who's going to be able to burn it away and take the Poppy kill. Nate coming back in with a little bit extra health off the camp. He's going to want to be able to contest this dragon, and it looks like they're coming for it. Yone with the MIP comes in. Viego is down. Thresh is not too far behind him from the looks of it. He gets the hook, but he's going to end up going down in the process. Jhin gets the pick up there. LeBlanc's going to be able to threaten a little bit, and so is the Rumble, but I don't think they're going to be able to take this dragon away from the Rammus.
No, the Rammus is still alive. Goes for the steal. Doesn't get it. Just going to be able to run away from the Yone.
Yeah, this Yone is definitely becoming a terror the more these fights go on.
I have to agree.
We're going to have to get a construction contract to build some more roads for the MIP, that's all I'm saying.
I have to agree.
Yeah, well, and Rammus is doing a really good job at setting up these fights too. Like we're seeing these taunts come out, and the MIP is literally within range because of his spirit or his unshackle, whatever it's called.
Spirit Unbound, I believe.
Spirit Unbound. So anytime the
Soul
Rammus
Unbound.
Soul Unbound. You know, I don't play Yone like that. I don't read his summoner or the summoner spells whenever, or the
spell
champion
names?
spells, whatever they are.
I know some of them. I couldn't tell you a single Yone one.
Yeah, I know his Q, extends the...
No, his Q is Immortal Steel, it says.
Immortal Steel.
God, made me look like an idiot.
His ult is Fate Sealed.
Mm-hmm.
I know Fate Sealed. Because they say that one all the time when he gets played.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's big. It's his big fucking...
Yeah, I know Curtain Call from the Jhin. Keeper's Verdict. I should have known that one. I hear that called a lot as well. The Slicing Maelstrom up in the top lane.
I could not tell you Rammus's new ulti.
It's the okay move.
Soaring Slam.
Soaring Slam. That does not sound like a Rammus. He sounds so majestic.
I'm gonna make sure to cast that next time I see the Rammus ult. The Soaring Slam coming out.
One thing I did want to point out actually was we haven't really seen the Rammus get involved too much. until recently, and T has a really strong presence, even being down so much farm. He was creating a lot of space in that team fight in the bottom river.
Yeah. Well, and if he can get in on Dr. Guillotine, that is basically a dead Jinx right there. The follow-up from his team is going to be high enough. We have a lot of gap closers between the Yone, the Poppy, and the Kennen. They can get in on Jinx if that gets caught out. Oh, and here comes Viego with the Rift Herald past the first tower straight to the second. He knew his team was going to be able to take it clean, and Rammus is going to be in the back line. And a Soaring Slam comes in on the Jinx. She's getting chased down by the Ghost. Thresh Hook is going to go a little wide, and there's the Cleanse trying to keep her out. Guillotine takes the lantern away as Jesus' one noob is going to be trying to run away, and another hook goes wide. That Rammus is just too fast with the Ghost. They're going to be able to march it down mid lane and shove another wave out, though, if they want it. Stun comes out from the Viego. The game is not quite over yet. Thresh is going to get a hook. Guillotine's coming back in, and so is the TP coming in from Lord of Penguins. We're going to see some more damage coming out as Poppy starting to take it. Jinx gets the reset, and there's another damage coming out. Lord of Penguins picking up the kill on the Poppy as well. That's 2 kills there. And they're going to back out straight to a Baron from that. Excellent team synergy coming out from Nyan Garde off that one.
Yeah, best case scenario for Nyan Garde, you get your reset early, you fight away from the solo lanes that are very powerful, and you're able to potentially snowball this into the Baron.
Yeah, Yone wasn't anywhere near that fight, so you were very confident. You saw him down in the bot side as well, so no need to fear that he might be popping out from the side lanes or anything. His TP is already down, so don't have to worry about that.
I don't know if they can do this Baron, though. Nate's HP is so low.
And they have to retreat, especially with both solo laners having everything up. Oh, nice chunk on the Gablet. On the, I can't say his name.
Giblond.
Giblond.
I think.
Yeah, my brain does not read A-N-D and say ond. It says...
Well, I feel like my natural desire is if I'm going to say Giblond, I got to do it with this like really thick French accent, which would probably just make me sound racist. So I'm really trying not to.
Respectable.
Although maybe that would be more appropriate because it is a French word with a French accent,
French,
you know. So maybe that would be more appropriate. I'll have to find out.
I mean,
DM the captain. Is it racist if I? Man, we're seeing a lot of these teams here just trying to farm it up a little bit. The Dragon's about to spawn, so they're going to be looking to probably fight for that. I feel like depending on where the lane states are at, the Alphas to G-Town is just going to be giving it up.
Pigman might be caught here.
Yeah, Thresh going to take a little bit of damage here. Not quite enough. We don't have the Yone burst to get through the steel caps and the locket.
But steel caps, locket, and celestial opposition.
Yeah, Scuttle's doing a good job at helping clear out some of this vision as well. Just scouting out all these wards that they can get rid of. And they're going to be able to take the blasting cone back over. Yep. Looks like, Nyan Garde is going to be able to take this for free. Rammus is on his way down, but I don't think he's going to be making it in time along with his team. Although we could see the Soaring Slam from over the wall for the steal. We'll have to see if Rammus really wants it.
One thing that I learned today in LCS is they call the enhanced scuttle crab the CCTV scuttle crab.
Oh, because it does wide area surveillance. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And there's the team fight coming out. Slicing Maelstrom comes in from the front, and so was the Soaring Slam. Yone is coming in from the back line. Lots of damage for him. Jinx is already falling. Miniman is trying to run away. He's ignited already, and Giblond is chasing him down. That's going to be another kill for him. Nate's coming in with the Viego. He might be able to get the reset off of Giblond, but it's not going to be enough. The taunt's going to come out. Yone picks up another kill. Poppy picks up another kill, and that is a clean ace for the Alphas to G-Town going in on Nyan Garde, and they're pivoting straight up to that Baron while Giblond is going to shove out the top lane looking for a tower.
I want to know where the MIP came from, because when I played against this team, it was not the same player. I'll be 100%. He is finding...
The MIP 2508 is looking juiced right now.
I know. He's finding a ton of multi-man Yone ults on key targets. I think he hit the LeBlanc and the Jinx in that fight.
Yeah, and then Giblond with the follow-up of the Flash Slicing Maelstrom just completely decimates them. The reset comp doesn't matter if you can't get that first kill. And if they get blown up instantly, it's just nothing that Nyan Garde can really do about it.
Yeah, 4K gold up from Yone over the LeBlanc. That is an entire item and a half right there. Absolutely terrifying.
Top lane too.
The Collector. That is
a decision.
That's a statement.
That is a statement. I could agree with the IE, but the collector is. You know what? He's played well all game. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
I call collector one of those dopamine buys where you buy it because it feels good when you like snap back on Yone and it pops them instantly, you know. So I'm imagining that's what that's for. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
He just wants to secure the doubles and the triple kills. You know, he's not really out here for the team fight wins. He's out here for that pentakill. You know, and I respect it. When you're on stream, you want to make sure you show off a little bit.
And I kind of understand.
Oh, Minnie's not prepared for this. Yone has way too much damage for that, and the TP is going to come out from Lord of Penguins, but it's not going to be enough.
I don't know if anyone can deal with this Yone at this point.
I don't think they can, especially the fact that this next item is going to be a Hex Drinker. And both side laners are very heavy AP. I think that's the reason he didn't go Shield Bell. I think he heals himself.
Oh, the AE snapback. Yep, there it is. Oh, my word. The MIP is an absolute terror. And Lord of Penguins is really struggling out here as well. Can't even finish the Rabadons with farming because he just can't survive in a lane right now. Baron on all 3 lanes as well. Yeah, Nyan Garde is not enjoying this lane state at all.
It should be ran up by a Yone. This Yone is massive. It's kind of crazy.
I didn't even know who this guy was a week ago. Now he's taking names every game I see him.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
There he is going in on the back line. Cleanse comes out from Dr. Guillotine. Pickens already getting taken out, and the tower goes down. The equalizer comes out for a little bit of damage, but it's not going to be high enough. Nate is getting burned down, and Yone picks up a kill on him. Curtain Call comes out to take down Miniman in the Rumble, and unfortunately, the Ignite is going to take down the MIP. Lots of shutdown gold going over for Miniman's Rumble.
That still might be game unless Andrew can make a hero play.
I'll say the raid boss may be down, but I think the game's still over.
Yeah, Poppy's doing a good job at making sure LeBlanc doesn't get to dash around. The Ignite comes out. Poppy does fall. Lord of Penguins is going to try to have to back out of this one. He might have to reset back to his fountain and go back in. He's playing it on life's edge a little bit. Geblan has a lot of damage. You don't want to dust with that.
He has bought a lot of time, though. I think he successfully stopped the game from being ended.
They're still going for it.
Very greedy. Very, very greedy. They could get punished for this. They got to be really careful.
Both towers are down.
Jinx Rocket's up in 1.
Lord of Penguins is dashing in. Jin is down. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Rammus is super low. The Jinx is opting to ult towards the mid lane to force the Blonde off. He is going to be able to back away and probably take some camps on the way out, though. So not an all-time loss, and looks like they're pinging for that Dragon Soul that's about to spawn as Alpha's Digitown has taken their reset.
Also, I think the Yone just finished an entire Death Stance on that base.
Yeah, he had just a long sword, and now he has a full Death Stance.
Now he has an entire Death Stance. Yeah, this Yone is just an issue. If the Yone somehow gets popped in this fight, the Yone is the first target, then maybe Nyan Garde can make a
I will
come in,
say for Nyan Garde, they have 3.5 items on the Jinx. They do have the death cap on LeBlanc, so she actually does damage. And then Viego has the Sundered Sky. Hopefully Sterix soon to be able to survive some of this initial Yone damage. And if they can get that reset, especially if it's Viego picking up a Yone, they could just easily turn the tables onto blue team.
Yeah, I have to agree. But it's a lot easier said than done. And it brings in the idea of the... I feel like if this is a Nautilus and that Yone tries to fly in like that, I feel like the Nautilus punishes it a lot better than the Thresh does. Bring you back to draft a little bit.
For sure. That is the disadvantage of running no guaranteed CC. You put a lot of pressure on yourself against champions like Yone that have ways to either ignore CC or dash around.
The Equalizer comes in on Geblan, but he's just going to back away slowly. And meanwhile, Dragon Soul is claimed for Alpha's G-Town in the back. Yone is TPing in, and he's being met up with the Geblan as well. They want this Nexus. Picken is going to try to do his best to hook this Yone. He does end to land it. He's going to be able to stall a little bit as Nate, Lord Penguins, and Miniman are all resetting back here. Geblan hurts. So does the MIP. They're not going to be able to do enough. Zonia's comes out, and they're not going to be able to clean up the Nexus. Poppy's coming out.
Poppy running in.
Let's see if they can get it. All they need is the one more auto, and there it is, the passive auto.
It is. GG.
The Alpha's Digitown is able to clean out a clean victory. And ladies and gentlemen in the chat, you guys know what time it is. Let me know who you guys want to talk to from Le Alpha's Digitown. I think we have a good idea of who might be worth talking to, but I will leave it up to the chat to decide. As well as my co-casters who also get a vote in the matter. Guys, who do you think you want to talk to?
This is a really tough choice.
This
I'm not
is an
quite
incredibly
sure
tough
who
choice.
popped off that game for certain, but maybe the MIP potentially.
I would have to agree. I would like to talk to the 40k damage Yone, which is the most in the game by a large mile. He played very well, so deserved.
Yeah. And looking at chat right now, I'm seeing a lot of votes for Gabeland, including from the
I
MIP
mean, he
himself.
did play a very solid game. He successfully punished the Rumble using Ignite multiple times, and he was able to find good Kennen ultis to follow up for the Yone to be able to do his damage in team fights.
Yeah, my vote's still the MIP. Guy popped off. I want to see what his thought process was for the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and throw a quick poll out in chat, let you guys select who you want to see. We'll throw it out real quick. Hopefully that worked. Everybody has 1 minute to vote. Let me see where you guys want to throw out. For those of you in the commentators booth with me, feel free to hop over to the Twitch and hit that vote really quick if you guys want to cast.
I just did.
The MIP's
Already
just
on.
trying to get all of his other teammates pulled in instead of him.
He's like, no.
I will say, I won't force a player to interview. If they really don't want to hop in the booth, I'm not going to just kidnap them. Nor can I if they aren't in a call. But
Yeah, so you never want to be interviewed. Just leave the Discord.
just leave the
and you
Discord. I
can't do anything
physically
about it.
can't stop you.
Don't worry, I was chilling in his basement. I can go grab it for him. I'll just join him
Oh, perfect.
in here.
You're in the walls.
It is actually a tied up vote right now between Giblond and Master Flexo. And there goes the tiebreaker. Master Flexo it is, our Poppy. Well, let's see if he's in the Discord. I'll be happy to drag him in here. Oh yeah, there he is. We'll just kidnap him.
Oh, I'm malignant. I don't need to do that on stream, Turtle. I don't.
All right, let's drag
I'm gonna
homeboy
drill
in
the
here
person.
and see what's going on with Lalphas Digitone. Hello.
Hello.
How are you, dude?
I'm really good, really good. Unfortunately, our mid laner, very big carry, his English is so.
Ah.
Okay.
We're sorry.
No, it's all good. It's
No
all good. I
problem.
don't want to force
It's
somebody to
perfectly
interview
fine,
that if they don't feel comfortable doing so. So definitely don't want to make anybody feel ostracized or awkward about it. But hey, congratulations to your team. You guys played very, very well. I know we talked a lot about the MIP popping off, and he did, but I think the rest of you guys played a really solid game as well. We were talking about a lot of the setup engage from both Ramus and yourself. Giblon doing a lot of side lane pressure as well. So I think overall you guys had a really solid team comp, and you guys executed it very well. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Uh,
Yeah, the team comp. We're actually thinking of this team comp for like in the morning. We were thinking it up like that. The Cannon pick.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's not a Cannon main. It's like second Cannon game, I think. So I think he did very good.
Really?
And yeah, that's it. We think the comp like that.
so y'all were planning on doing the Kennen before the Rumble got locked in.
Yes.
Well, I guess it worked out because I believe Kennen has a really good matchup in the Rumble, and that's kind of what we saw. An early First Blood went to Rumble from the Ignite, but really after that, there wasn't really any recovery from him. It was just a good XP and gold advantage from there forward as the TP just really put in the work. But regarding the draft as a whole, though, we didn't really get to see a whole lot from the draft because you guys did it kind of off stage a little bit. But what was going on in y'all's minds? You don't have to go through the entirety of the draft, but just some of the highlights that you or your team were discussing, both from y'all's pick and from the enemy's pick. Of where were your heads at during that draft portion?
We wanted to pick Amumu first pick, but it was banned, so we had to try to get another pick. But then we see the Jinx pick, and I think it was Viego pick after, which is also a main for a jungler. So we said Ramus very good. He can engage in with his ult. His Q is very fast. He can go in. and he counters the Jinx and the Viego, right? After that, I think they tried to ban the Vladimir, because in our other two wins, I think we did play Vlad, and he was very good on it. The MIP again, probably our best player, so that's why they banned him. But after that, because we had the Kennen top, we were thinking about it. We had to get an AD mid, and that's when the Yone came out. You know, our mid laner is very how to say good on Yone. He's a Yone main.
Hmm.
Great. He played really well. He kind of just shit on some kids, if I'm being honest. He took a big old dookie on their head.
Well,
Can I get some insight behind the Poppy pick?
The puppy pick, I don't remember. I think he was because I wanted Rakan, but I wasn't really sure what support they would pick, and I know the support. I checked before he played a lot of Janna and Milio, and I don't like to play
Mhm.
Rakan into those picks because you get pushed away, right? So I
Yeah.
think the puppy was better just to get off the other people onto us, and there's a lot of champs that get blocked by puppy W, so I think she's just a very good pick in general. So
Okay.
that's just
I
it.
see.
There's just I'm comfortable on puppy.
Hmm.
Sure. Comfort is king in these type of tournaments as well.
yeah, definitely a good counter pick. We saw the LeBlanc and the Viego both liking to dash, Thresh Lantern. So I definitely think the Poppy support was a really good counter pick, even if not for the lane itself, but just for the mid to late game team fights. And we saw a lot of that coming out as well, as it just kind of zoning Lord of Penguins off from being able to really do anything in those fights. And speaking of a lot of the fights coming in from these skirmishes through the game, the early game was kind of a dead zone. We had a lot of a lot of damaging skirmishes, but no real kills. And so we saw the gold graph, and we kind of knew who had the lead. But going through like the mid game, kind of before things really started snowballing with the MIP, what were you guys thinking during that like kind of mid to early game portion? Like, were you guys fearing that like Jinx or Rumble were starting to put out too much damage, or were you guys kind of keeping a cool head and just playing a simple game until something started really going awry?
Yeah, cool head because I think I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the Rumble was not throwing all the ults always in the team fight. So like the Rumble, we weren't really scared of it mid game. We were fine with it. The Jinx, we were a bit scared, but nothing happened, so it's all good. And
Hmm.
personally, for me in my ADC in the bot lane, we knew we couldn't really do anything, right? But we still tried to survive and help our carries like the Yone.
Well, you guys did do a good job with it, so I suppose that it worked out. Yeah, it didn't seem like anything was too scary from our point of view, but it's always curious because sometimes the players see things that we as spectators view differently. We see like an ult go wide, and we think, well, that wasn't there, but we also may not notice that it completely zoned out somebody from a fight or something like that. So just always curious to see where the players are at. But overall, from the game, were you guys walking into this thinking that it was going to be a close game, or did you guys feel pretty comfortable going against Nyan Garde? I know they're kind of on the lower part of the bracket, and so
They're in the scrap now. This is the
they
last
yeah,
game.
after this loss, they are actually in jeopardy of not making playoffs, which is
Oh, you
quite
said
sad to
Andrew's team.
say, but
My bad.
is the reality.
Uh,
Yeah, what?
So yeah, what were you guys thinking as far as their team is concerned in general, walking into this game?
well, I checked some of the VODs that they played. They played two games that were streamed just to check their team comp, what they would play. And they switched around a lot of people. Like, I think the jungler was playing top for those two games. So when I was looking at that, I thought I wasn't sure what they would pick, who would be the laner. So maybe on the bans, I wasn't really sure. That's why we did more general bans with the Mordekaiser and the Diana because I think the mid and jungle both play them. So try to remove two champs that they play. Same with the Mordekaisers, so that like if they do switch, maybe they can remove a pick that flex with some of the other people. Really, that's what. Other than that, we weren't really scared.
Nice.
Makes sense.
Well, I think that was all the questions I have. Ava, Red, did you guys have anything you wanted to ask before we sign off here?
Uh,
Nothing.
the only question I had was, do you have any insight as to why the MIP decided to go for the big collector purchase?
Oh, you
Uh,
picked the gun.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I
Okay.
don't know.
Oh, good.
Well, let's assume that he's a Giga Chad and move on.
Yeah, the
Yep.
win more button.
Yeah, true.
Well, Master Flexo, congratulations to you and your team once again. Is there anything
Thank
you'd
you,
like to
thank
say to your team or to the fans watching at home before we sign off here today?
Thank you for watching. Hopefully this was a fun game. And yes, thank you. That's all. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a fun game. I enjoyed it. I believe my
I
casters
enjoyed it.
Yep. And I hope you guys at home watched it, enjoyed it as well. And if you want to continue enjoying these matches, you can tune in next week as we go into round 7 of the Tournament of Champions. We're 1 week away from our Super Week, which will be round 8, so that'll be exciting. Looking forward to that. But yeah, you guys can tune in next week right here on the Twitch channel. If you're not already in the Discord, feel free to drop a comment in the chat. We'll try to get you the link to the Discord. That's where we have this this tournament being hosted. We also do fun, smaller events and other just chatting in general. Lots of players like to hop into the voice calls and just get some league games going. People play TFT, they play Swarm, they play other games, first-person shooters, MMOs, etc. So if you're a gamer and you just want to find a community, come think about joining the Lowflan Discord. We'll be happy to get you that info. Ava, Red, thank you for joining me as always. It's a pleasure to have you guys in the booth with me. And Flexo, thanks again for the interview. We're going to be signing off here.
Inshallah.
Ladies, gentlemen, and others, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.